I can see you are putting a lot of passion into Substack. You're probably posting every week or maybe
every week,
2 weeks, every week.
No, every week, yeah.
I think that's a great frequency. Again, I'm biased. I'm following and liking and sometimes writing my comments on your articles. They're all very interesting, and I can see a lot of Nietzsche in your writing, not only in the style but also in the ideas that you present to the reader. And it's, for me, it's fascinating to see Nietzsche being brought to the arena of ideas. I don't think he is not that popular as he was maybe in the 90s, beginning of 2000s. I think Nietzsche was. Well, I'm very much into rock, like your son, and Nietzsche and rock really got together when it comes to culture. So it's
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was huge. So it's amazing that you are bringing him to the attention. Can you tell me a bit more about your profile in Substack?
Yeah, sure. Well, the Substack is called Write Dangerously, which, obviously is a sort of parody of Nietzsche's phrase "live dangerously," and the idea, obviously, is that writing that is safe and conformist is boring. My idea is that good writing is writing that takes risks. It may be writing that fails. Failing is an important part of writing, as Samuel Beckett, the Irish writer, always said. But I think you have to take risks, or you simply end up repeating what other people have said, and that has no interest. Apart from that, I suppose the blog is about writing, but it's not simply about writing. It's a blog that deals with the intersection of writing, culture generally, philosophy, and politics. Politics, not in the sense of party politics. I'm not really terribly interested in that, because I think almost all of the traditional parties are corrupt and incompetent. But
which is again a Nietzschean idea. Nietzsche was always keeping himself distant from the political grounds, and he had his thoughts and views, but he will never mingle with the politicians, which probably resonates with you.
Yes, but I think that I think that not enough writers are dealing with the very critical cultural issues we are facing, and I think that most writers have sort of surrendered to a very conformist ideology, actually. And some of them believe in it genuinely. I think when they do, it's generally because they don't really understand the ideology that they've subscribed to fully. They don't understand its intellectual roots, its postmodern and neo-Marxist roots. I think some writers are simply afraid, and they know that if they keep parroting the dogmas of progressivism, then they will be accepted by the tribe, and that's really all they want, is to be accepted and gain a measure of success. But because of that, I think we're getting writing of increasingly poor quality. Not just writing, I mean, all of our culture, actually. It's the music, the painting, the films, everything, really. It's very obviously deteriorating. And, some of my friends have said, "Oh, you're just becoming a grumpy old man. That's what every old man says, that it was much better in my youth." But I really don't think so. I think I'm open-minded enough to appreciate good contemporary things when they come up. For example, I'm not one of those old guys that only listens to music he listened to when he was a teenager. I've heard music made in the last 20 or 30 years, which I really like. I've certainly read writing by young people that I've really liked. So I don't think that is a prejudice. I feel that the culture is in decline, and there may be nothing we can do about that, but I think at the very least we can be aware of it and try to resist it in the sense that we at least try to create true culture. We don't just become herd animals, in the sort of Nietzschean sense, just conformists who are
and just or just consumers, and we don't know what we are putting in our body, soul, and brain. We are just being fed. We don't care about what is the spoon, who cooked the soup. We are just digesting it without knowing what we are taking in. And that's wrong by definition. And it doesn't matter what kind of thing is being or what kind of thing are we taking in. We should always have some criteria. I think it's a matter of establish, what is quality, what meets those standards, what doesn't, and not just obey, which we really would annoy Nietzsche. So I think, I can totally resonate with that ideas, and I can see your tribe growing on a weekly basis. There are more and more people there. I think Substack is also growing as a writing app. I use mostly a Medium and Substack. They are very different, and I'm aware of that. So I'm not a different person, but I can see the direction it's going. So maybe the digital world is a good platform, to inspire others to take the lead, to share what we are not able to in other places. So I think it makes sense to invest some time there.
Yeah, I do too. And I've been quite encouraged because the Substack is growing. I mean, every week pretty much I get more followers. So I mean, it's still very small at the moment, but I've, in the last 6 or 7 months, I've got about 120 followers.
That's
I mean, that's still very small, but I mean, about 50% of them are actually opening and reading it each week. So, I mean, it's still tiny, but I'm getting engagement too. People are liking the posts, they're commenting. So yeah, I hope that something will happen there, and it's not just self-promotion. I mean, of course, I do want to draw attention to my work, but It's not that I'm promoting myself. I'm really trying to create some kind of community.
Yeah, I think there is some service about what you are doing. You know? So, and it's not only serving yourself, but also giving a hand to others. Like I you know, I went through this, and maybe something that you should be aware of, or think about writers from the 18th, 19th century, or opening up different avenues. So I think it's very, very valuable, and it's good that the Substack is growing. And you're talking about followers and engagement, which some people tend to think is the same, but I think the real benefit of platforms like Substack or Medium for that regard, and probably YouTube. And I'm talking on those versus say Facebook, Instagram, maybe Twitter. Though I'm not that big in Twitter. Is that the people who are following in Substack? They are really following. You know, they probably read your stuff. They probably think about what you just mentioned in those paragraphs. They might write a comment. Where there's Facebook, it's very easy just to follow that person. Then you might come across a couple of posts on the beginning because you just started to follow this person, but then it will be on the side, and you are still there as a follower. But that's it. You are just a number. You are not really someone paying attention. So I want to highlight how, and I'm not like being paid by Substack or anything like that. It's really the case that when you build a community in Substack, it's a tangible community. I'd say out of 100, at least half of them are reading it. Probably not every week, but almost.
Yeah, and there's no question. I mean, probably most of the best writers actually have a Substack now. It's becoming really important. I mean, I follow Elif Shafak, for example, the Turkish writer who lives in London. She has, and she's quite politically different from me, I would say, but an interesting person and a very good writer. Also, I've encountered lots of interesting people on Substack.